I'm going to talk to you guys about a video that gets the most views on my channel. Actually, they're all videos on this topic, and that is, what do I do with my Dollar Tree stackables? And I think that I have a good opinion on this topic, being the case that I have had these for 2 years now. I was one of the first people to make a video on the Dollar Tree stackables because I got them the first year that they came out, and I made the video when my channel was pretty brand new, and I actually did a giveaway with them too as well. So I have grown in them for 2 solid years. So I know everything there is to know about the Dollar Tree stackables. Alright guys, so first off, I am not facing my garden even though I'm out here because I don't want to give away the surprise on all the work that we have done. I want to do a big unveiling on the whole new garden design. If you guys haven't watched the video where I was talking about what my plans were to do for it, watch the video I posted yesterday. Yes, yesterday, and then you'll be able to see kind of like our new design plans. But we've done a lot of work out here and I'm really proud of it, really excited about it, and I can't wait to show you guys on Sunday when I do the big reveal. But let's talk about these Dollar Tree planters. Now, I'm going to give you guys a lot of the pros and cons when it comes to these bad boys, because I have grown in them for 2 years now, and I have grown just about everything in them. Like, I've tried a lot of different things. I've grown everything from cherry tomatoes to beans to, I'm looking at my pots right now to see what I have in them, to celery, to spinach, to lettuce, to all different types of things I've grown in them, radishes, different things like that. Now, one of the pros that I love about those Dollar Tree planters is that you're able to do that. You're able to fill a lot of different spaces just by planting them in such a small space. So if you have a patio garden, if you have a small space garden like I do, you can take up way less room with these Dollar Tree planters and plant a lot of plants. So for me, I plant in all 3 when they're stacked, and then the very top one, I can plant 3 and then 1 in the middle too as well. So I've always planted that way, and I find that it gives me a good result, and you can plant everything that you want to plant. And you can plant everything that you want to plant in there. One of my favorite things was that one year I grew bok choy in my stackables, and I grew 10 plants in my bok choy in my stackables. So we had bok choy literally every single week because the plant was just growing and growing and growing, and we would cut off leaves from one side, and then by the time we were letting that side grow, we would use the other side and then just go back and forth on the sides or the rows of them. So instead of me having to take up my garden space and put like 11 or 10 plants in my brassica bed and basically take up all the room in my brassica bed, I just simply used the Dollar Tree stackable, and it only took up 3 of the stackables, and life was great. Okay guys, so one of the things I did not like about them is that these tend to dry out. Not the whole pot, but pretty much like the top few layers of them. And it was a problem that I was having when I first bought these because I didn't put any mulch over top of them. And with the Arizona sun, these things can get hot. My whole garden gets hot. We get up to like 120 degrees during some times of the year. So they would just dry out that first layer, and it was killing my plants. Well, one of the things that I did to counteract that is I took a finer mulch. So I took a wood mulch and I just put that on top of the plants, or of the planter, and it kept a lot of the moisture inside of it. I do still have to water these every day. Even when I am going and I'm only watering my garden once every other day, I tend to have to water these every day just because it's a smaller space that it's growing in. So then, just when I got the drying out situation figured out, I had an overwatering situation. And that is because in Arizona, we get some really wet seasons. So we'll have our spring, which when they say April showers bring May flowers, I think that they were talking about the desert because that's what happens. We get downpours sometimes during April, and then May everything blossoms and it's beautiful. Well, the problem is that these things were getting like poured on. So basically like cups and cups of water at one time poured into them. So I had to remove the bottom part of it. If you guys watch my videos, you'll see that I use that bottom part sometimes in little places throughout my garden to be able to put water in for the lizards, which gave them a use. But the first time it happened and I went through a monsoon season with that, it basically rotted out all of my beans, my bean seeds that were in there. So a lot of you guys have come to my channel from my video, I grew how to grow a ton of beans with the Dollar Tree Stackables. That's a video that I did about 2 years ago. And yes, it was going great. And then we had a freak storm that just poured a bunch of water into them. They got gnats in them. They were terrible. And then the storm blew it all over because I stacked it too high and destroyed all of my plants. So there went that. So that's where I also learned one of the cons to the Dollar Tree Stackables, and that is that you can't stack them as high as like a green stalk. Now, with the green stalk, it is bigger, so it's harder for it to like fall over when you have it full with soil. I have seen some of them do fall over, but it's less likely than when you have the Dollar Tree ones stacked up as high as the green stalk ones. I have seen some people that have watched my videos that I've talked to that have said they changed that by basically sticking a pole through like a PVC pipe through the Dollar Tree Stackables and making it to where it was steady. And that I thought was a great idea. I haven't tried that yet, so I will say that I'm not sure if it works, but I've seen some other people do it and their gardens look great, and they grew all the green beans because they planted them at the same time I was planting them, because we were going to do it together, but you know, then I got a big old storm that just kind of ruined everything. Now, one of the pros is that you can grow a ton of different things in there. You can grow things that maybe need a little bit more shade or a little bit more sun and just rotate them like how you want them to be rotated. One of the things that I don't like doing is starting seeds in them, and it's for that reason. I would have to have them all splayed out everywhere and then stack them because it's more of a pain to kind of come out and rotate them. I think that that's the same thing with a green stalk too as well. So if you're comparing them and trying to decide which one you want to get, it's going to be the same thing. You're still going to have to rotate it. So one of the things that I like to do is start all of my seeds ahead of time, whether I have them all laid out. Currently, I'm going to be redoing the bean situation. So I have some beans starting underneath my grow lights actually inside because it got a little cool today. The temperature dropped for them. So I brought them inside, starting them there. And then once they sprout, then I'm going to put them into the Dollar Tree Stackable, because then I can just rotate it whenever I need it to get more sun or different things like that. But it won't be something that I'm trying to germinate with. So I'm trying to rotate it like a couple times a day. I won't have to do that. It'll be something that I can rotate maybe once a week and everything will be just fine. Now, one of the absolute pros, I think, about this Dollar Tree Stackable is that each one only costs $1. Now it's $1.25 because they have raised their prices, but it's a lot cheaper when you're comparing it to the green stock. The green stock is really cool, love it, and I don't have one, but I've seen them and I think that they're really cool, but they're really, really expensive. So if you can have something that is going to be just as functional as that, I would go with a cheaper price. Now, this one also doesn't self-water itself, but I have seen some people create that watering system with the PVC pipe that they put into it, which I thought was really cool. Haven't gotten that like ingenuity with mine, but I did add wheels to it one year. Unfortunately, we hit 120 degrees that year, and the Gorilla Glue that I thought was going to be great, I didn't take the stickers off the bottom. There were stickers, well now they are off there, and they're off there now because it melted. So my wheels melted, or the glue melted on my wheels, and then I just never put them back. But during the winter when I had it on there, it was amazing. I could wheel them around, I could turn them around, everything was great. So if you live in a climate where it doesn't get to be the surface of the sun, yes, you could totally add wheels to it. You can hang them from places. You can do all different types of things with them because they're nice and they're light and they're small and they're compacted and they can fit pretty much into any space. So my overall conclusion of if I would use my Dollar Tree planters over anything else, the answer is absolutely 100% yes. They cost me $1 each. I have 26 of them, which made my total investment only $26, and I have grown in them every single season. For us in Arizona, that is 5 seasons, the regular fall, summer, winter, spring, and monsoon for us, and they have produced a ton of food, guys. Whether it is just vegetables, whether it is herbs, whether it's medicinal herbs and medicines, they've produced a ton of things over these past 2 years for me. So it was the best $26 that I've ever spent. So if you're considering them and trying to decide how to use them, grow a lot of like your dwarf things. So like your dwarf peas, your dwarf tomatoes. There's a dwarf version of a lot of different things. Also, you can put maybe some of the masonry ladders like I have with my how to build a patio trellis or arch trellis with for a patio, so it's out of pots. You could do the same thing with your Dollar Tree one and even grow some of the arch things like a midget cantaloupe or something like that. But it's grows so much food, and any type of vegetable, any type of herb you want to put in there, you can toss in there and it will grow amazingly for you. So I 100% suggest them. I think everybody should have them, and I hope this review was great for you guys. Until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.